Hey, what's up, guys? So here's my moon sliver. Some of you guys said you saw yours on the 23rd, some saw it on the 24th, and some haven't seen it yet. This just appeared, and sunset was about 40 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago maybe. So I don't know if this counts as the 24th or the 25th because it was after sundown, and the way God calculates his days, they go from sundown to sundown. Which is also the reason why the Israeli sighting on the 23rd is also questionable, but it's for two reasons. Not only did it appear at about an hour after sunset in Jerusalem, I think it was 7:37, and sunset that night or that day was around 6:30, but also only one of the two witnesses saw it, and it was through binoculars, and there was dust or haze, and then it was invisible again. So it's hard to know in God's eyes what really counts, you know? Based on all this, it would seem that the range of time now would be anywhere from the 23rd to the 27th, depending on where you live, for the feast to commence and then conclude with how it was originally set up. So I don't know if that's what God's going to use, or maybe he's going to let the trumpets blast for a while. You know, we are the trumpets, so if you've got something to share, be bold and do it. You guys have encouraged me so much. I was blown away by so many things that you guys wrote. It's precious to my heart. I've never really experienced this before, but to be in fellowship with you, I always wondered, where are my people, And now you guys are finally here, so thank you for everything. You share stuff with me, and then it helps me to understand more what to share with you. And it just keeps going back and forth, and it's a beautiful thing. And so with this feast, we're relying on each other now. We're going to carry each other through and demonstrate to the world the power of Christ. And one more thing I wanted to share with you that I thought was really cool as an idea of how this works. So this appointed time thing, I'm realizing, is way more important than I ever thought. Or, I didn't really, because look at it this way. The rapture is described like lightning. It's like a flash. It happens so fast, and you don't know when it's coming. If a thunderstorm arrives, you see the clouds, you kind of know if it's going to storm or not. If it's a clear sky like what I had today, there's probably not going to be a thunderstorm, right? Or lightning. But if you're paying attention and you're like, okay, there's a storm, but you can get all the way right there and you're like, okay, there's lightning happening. But you're trying to capture a picture of it, but you can't because you don't know the exact moment that it's going to happen. Now imagine you only have one click, one piece of film, and you've got to get it right to get that lightning. Well, how are you going to do that? Well, the only way to make it to heaven, to make it out of this, is through Christ Jesus, and he's the only one that's aligned with that appointed time, and we have to be aligned with him based on how he's assigned this. So that's why this feast and the moon timing and all this stuff is important, because God told his original people, who are still the ones who are supposed to be practicing these feasts. The Gentiles are not required to, but once I started learning about these myself, I was incorporating a lot of it into my life because it amplified my faith. It reminded me more of Christ and increased a lot of great things. So I really enjoy, things like the Seder dinner or the Passover feast, and now trumpets. These holidays, these feast days, are God's feast days for his children, and you are his child. So this is for you. This is for us. Let's shine and blast our trumpets for the whole world. That's what this is, a big procession. That's what those hundreds of trumpet blasts are about during the feast, in the ceremony. It's a representation, I think, of all the trumpets of God blasting during this special time as we cross the Red Sea together, or sail away on Noah's Ark together. Any one of these analogies. Ride the chariot up to heaven together. God's done this before, and he's about to do it again in the most amazing way. So never, ever, ever give up. I love you guys.